I already screwed myself up. Hold on. Hey, welcome back. I'm Jeff. I'm doing the mic from above thing now. There's a big shadow on my face, though. That's weird. All right. Let me tell the people I'm doing this again. More chaps, baby. I wonder if anybody will get caught up. If you're caught up, uh, shoot me a thing in the chat or whatever, y'all. What's up, motherfucker? All right. 13 chapter. Here I go. Chapter 13. Joran. This is madness. The statue isn't ours to give away. It has to go to the brothers. Joran's captor wasn't listening. Something was happening outside the small room. The guard was monitoring it through his device. Joran switched tactics. Listen here, friend. I know you work for the daughters of Zora. You're a good man, a brave man. All I'm asking is that you let me out there so I can talk to the matron. Can you do that for me? The guard did not respond. He was true to his training. That was clear. Sorry, I got this in the shot, but it's going to be there no matter what. All right. He was true to his training. That was clear. Joran tried another tack. Money. Everybody loves money, right? The man perked up, looked at Joran carefully. Yeah, so listen. I'm picking up 200K for this job. If you can convince the matron to let us deliver the statue, I'll cut you in for half. That's 100 grand. Just for a conversation. Pretty good, right? The man pondered this, then looked down again. Joran sighed audibly, clearly exasperated. He wouldn't need to say that. Joran sighed audibly, exasperated. Big truck. Look, man, my friends could be out there dying. Hell, they could have been taken captive. Who knows? I'm responsible for their safety, you know? The man was not moved. Joran threw up his hands. Goddess! A knock came at the door. The man knocked back once. It opened. Outside, two acolytes stood. One was carrying Joran's guns and his satchel. The guards stepped outside to let him out. They handed him his gear. So I get to see the matron? The blonde acolyte shook her head. No, you are welcome to leave. If you like, we can offer you blessing before you go. Joran snarled. Fuck this. He stiff-armed the older brunette and charged up the hallway, looking for any other people. He reached the central hall and was stunned. The candles were out, the braziers low, and the water had stopped running. The doors were slightly ajar. He could hear thousands of citizens shouting outside. Or no, he could hear the sound of citizens shouting outside. He cocked his pistol and ran into the center of the hall. He looked everywhere. Eventually, he ran back down the corridor he'd run out of. Even the three from that room were gone. Everyone was gone, even the kitchen staff. Being alone in a temple was a very strange experience. Once he realized he'd lost Ayana and the s- Once he realized he'd lost Ayana and the statue, he collapsed against the high seat. You have to hold it together, Commander. You didn't fail. You were betrayed. He remembered why he'd never trusted religion. Religion did what it wanted without regard for shared morality. He'd take common decency over religion any day. By the time the green shirts found him, he'd more or less accepted it. Ayana was alive. That would have to be enough. It's pretty serious. Ugh. Drink some water. And hit some weed. I like weed. Yo, if any of y'all would like to share your work on a live stream or on Everything is Awesome, just shoot me an email. Everythingisawesomepodcast at gmail.com. I'll critique your work or just read it. Uh, Whatever you want to do, just put that in the email. And yeah, it'd be great to hear from y'all and share some of your work with the public. And listen to Everything is Awesome, where I started reading this book and other poems and such. Um, huh. I wonder if I should make like a special episode of all the writing process sections. It would be quite long. All right. Chapter what is this? 14. Chapter 14. Joran. Ah, Mr. Barlow, I'm happy to see you are well. The guardsman was smug, clearly impressed with himself. Joran was resigned. He'd lost Ayana and the statue. He'd failed the mission, and he wasn't getting paid. To top it off, he was also a prisoner. Could things possibly get worse? At least he didn't kill anyone, so that was good. It seems you've picked up a weapons charge. I've corrected the record, seeing as you were traveling in Thraxis's party. Oh, can I offer you anything to drink? The coffee here is actually quite good. Joran looked around. As interrogation rooms went, this one was pretty nice. Looked more like a converted mansion than a police station. The light fixture was ornate, and the floors were spotless. Joran shook his head. The guardsman continued. I just have a couple of questions for you. Is that all right? Joran knew the drill. He was under arrest, he wasn't under arrest. Other than the guns, they had nothing on him. He nodded. So, according to the caretaker at according to the caretaker at Temple Saint Jardin, you arrived in the company of a priestess, a Calustrian by the look of her. What can you tell me about her? She's on the guest sheet, aboard the Horus. Numerius can help you with that. The officer smiled. Look, Joran, can I call you Joran? Joran stared at him, not speaking. Bascom continued. Ahem. Right. We've picked up some of your friends. They mentioned something about an object. Uh, he leaned in close, putting one hand to the side of his mouth as if acting in a stage play. Statue? Joran's eyes widened briefly. He didn't respond. Bascom stretched back up and walked around the room. It seems that your captain had sent the statue with some of your other crewmates. Apparently, it has failed to make its Apparently, it failed to make its destination. Joran's mind raced. How much did they know? Could Thraxus have told him he and Aeana were holding it? Shit. He had to think quickly. News to me. Last I heard, the captain had it. Bascom stiffened. We've searched your captain's belongings thoroughly, with no sign of any statue. Avandi Marshall is extremely interested in its whereabouts. Can you guess where it would be? I could, but I won't. Have you checked the ship? The captain laughed for a long time, speaking before he'd finished. Yes, of course. We are very thorough, Mr. Barlow. A few tears had formed at the corner of his eyes. Huh. Well, then, I'm sure it'll turn up eventually. Maybe one of your men took it. The captain shouted out an arm, grabbing Joran by the collar. He lifted Joran a few inches, just enough to tilt the chair back 15 or 20 degrees. The smile on his face had been displaced by the face of sheer rage. The smile on his face had been displaced by the face of sheer rage. Ah, that's a weird one. Despite being in considerable danger. I know nothing. Put me down. The door popped open. Another guardsman, this one wearing a shiny green short, with multiple stripes. Captain, Marshall wants the prisoner unharmed. The wild-eyed officer returned to face his quarry. The door swung shut. You should listen to that guy. He seems friendly. The captain pulled Joran forward, bouncing his face off the table. His wrists hurt from the cuffs, and now his nose started bleeding. He called out through the blood. Little help, please? I'll ask again. Where is the statue? His face was right up on Joran's. Joran faked a sneeze, splattering blood all over the place. The captain recoiled. God damn it! He slammed a palm on the table, removed a handkerchief, and dabbed at his face. You'll tell us eventually. He turned and opened the door. Oh, by the way, your captain is dead. I killed him. What? Holy shit. That guy was cool, right? Poor Captain Thraxus. Although maybe Bascom is lying. Do you guys like surprises? I could put a little Stephen King thing in there that says the captain is definitely dead. He likes to do that sometimes. Tell you ahead of time that something terrible is going to happen. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But like in a quirky, he fucks with you a little bit. I love you, Steven. All right. This will probably be the last one for this video. So yeah, check out my other podcast, Shattered Worlds RPG. Good idea. It's like an improv kind of imagination creation stuff. We just create rad ideas, movies, and all kinds of stuff. And then Something Wonderful Right Away, which is this long form improv show. Very cool. Up to 6 people on it at a time. It's really good. And The War for the Tower is just fucking great. So you should listen to that as well. Sorry, I'm burpy. Excuse me. Chapter 15. Grundle. Grundle's head was wobbly. He'd half dragged Portillion through the streets. They went to the underground tunnels that connected to the canal. From there, they traveled to what had been the rendezvous point, only to find no sign of the crew or the decoy cargo. A few people were milling about, but no one looked like the Brothers of Light. Grundle looked at Portillion. So what now? Both groups should be here by now. Portillion consulted a small orb he produced from his robe. Looking up, he seemed somewhat morose. The captain is in the palace. Ayana. Grundle grabbed his sleeve. What? Portillion took some time. She's not here. On the station. What? Where is she? I don't know, Grundle. She could be obscured from scrying, deep underground, or possibly... Grundle wandered away in a rambling circle. He was pacing and clenching his fists. I should have been with her. Grundle, it was a good plan. We were betrayed. Grundle was perplexed. How? Why? How much do you know about this woman, Grundle? Grundle bristled at the accusation. She is above reproach. She has never lied. She is a good woman. Of course, but I have to ask. If she's left the station, it's acceptable to ask questions, yes? Grundle calmed. I suppose. So if she didn't do it, who? Portillion mused. Accepting that supposition, Joran would be the obvious Joran would be the obvious choice. He's a bounty hunter, a man driven by the love of money. He could quite easily be swayed, I would think. Grundle still had doubts, but he let the thoughts rattle. I don't know. Still, though, how could she have left the station so quickly? It doesn't make sense. He would have to have prepared a ship and carry her away. She's a strong woman, a powerful force. She would not have gone quietly. Someone would have seen it. They pondered this further. Grundle asked in a quiet tone, could she have died? Portillion shook his head. No, the spell finds individuals, living or dead. Can you search for Joran or the others? Portillion shook his head again. No, the spell is prepared through touch. I only fused to Joran and Thraxus. Then the captain could be... Portillion nodded. Dead. Yes, it's possible. All right, that's it for this video. Find me on Twitter at El Jefe Tacoma, or my podcast, Everything is Awesome, on Twitter at EIA Podcast. All the other bullshits you've heard a million times. Hope your quarantine's going good. Hope our lives get better without a whole bunch more people dying. Hope we're not waiting a year and a half for a vaccine, and on and on and on. All right. Peace.